friends, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing something fun. I'm going to be training these hornbeam trees. They are European hornbeams, and they flank the sides of this arch that is right behind me. It's just a cattle panel arch, and they've been in the ground about a year now. I planted them last fall, and I've just been letting them settle in with their roots, and I haven't really given them any form or structure at all. So today we're actually going to be shaping them around the archway. So hopefully it can be just a beautiful archway of green leading into Dahlia Way, from our sunny border into Dahlia Way. And I think that it's going to look awfully romantic and a very sweet little separation and a little bit of an experience walking from one area of the garden to another. And I also have an Eden climbing rose right behind me, and we're going to be trimming it back in some areas. It has some wild stems that are growing in different directions, so we're going to be addressing that. And then I'm also going to be training that to grow and attach it to the stucco that we have on the outside of our home. So if that sounds good, let me turn the camera around, and I'm going to be showing you exactly what we're working with and what we're going to be doing here. So this is our Eden climber. It's actually planted right in front of the European hornbeam. And the European hornbeam is pretty tall at this point. I would guess 10 to 12 feet. It's over our roof line, so maybe 12 feet or so. And so I have these huge arches. These are the Eden climber rose, and they are literally touching the rafters. I put this in early in the spring. I bought it bare root from the garden center, so I got a really good deal on it. It's growing like gangbusters. And so we have all these large branches that are going off in odd directions, so I need to just clip them back, and I'm going to show you exactly how I trim them back. And we are going to be taking some of these stems and reaching around. So this is the exterior of my house, and you know, it's just a big plain white box, and I would love to paint my home, but that is not on the cards for me this year or even next year or anytime really. So we got to work and make beautiful what we have. So we have an electric box right here where we have a power outlet. So it's important that we have access to that. And so we're going to be training it. I want one branch to go down below the window, and another couple branches to go above. So we'll see if any of them are pliable enough or soft enough that I can bend around. If not, then we will just have to cut back and wait for fresh, softer growth. But I think that we have enough that we can work with. So I'm going to set up the camera, get my ladder, and we're going to get going. So I got my lovely rose gloves. I actually haven't used these before. I had another pair that really wasn't great, and I still got really poked. So I'm hoping this was Amazon recommended and had good reviews. So we shall see. Oh, so anything that's growing outwards, like towards me, I'm going to be cutting it back. And I'm going to cut just above a stem or a node, and we're going to be just tossing it down. I'm going to tidy this all up later, but I don't want anything coming out towards the walkway. I want it either leading up into the archway or leading this way onto the house. And I'm just going to clip some of these out of the way that are growing into the arch, because we want it to be safe to grow. And I'm cutting any of these long stalks that are kind of pushing outward. Any of these stalks that are kind of pointing outward into the walkway, if I can't train them back inside the panel, like this one, I just kind of weaved it around, and I can even zip tie it to hold it tighter. I don't want it to be a thorny, dangerous walk. So we're going to be cutting these things back. And this one is broken, so I'm going to be cutting it right back. And it goes... This one goes in the wrong direction. It was facing right out, so we are going to be taking that off. And this one goes straight up and out. This one I'm going to train inward. So now, as you can see, we have some of these large canes that are coming out the side and going upward. So we're just going to be taking those off. And I'm going to take these down to like the first set of leaves. As you can see with this iceberg rose tree that I have here, I have a bunch of just vertical branching. Where the vertical branches terminate is where you get your flower buds. So if you can create more opportunity for more vertical growth, which would require bending, if I could bend this stem over, then what would happen would be all of these leaf nodes that are here would start sending branches upward in a vertical direction, because plants have what's called apical dominance. They want to grow upwards. And so this branch is going to send forth several vertical branches that are going to bud and flower, as opposed to remaining upright and producing one flower bud at the end. So we want to create as many arching surfaces in our rose stems as possible. So when I train this rose to go around the house and work vertically, what should happen is in the springtime, it's going to send up a lot of vertical branches from that, and that's where I'm going to get an abundance of blooms and flowers. So now we're going to climb up here, and we are going to create as many horizontal branches as we can to promote that vertical growth that's going to give us even more blooms. So let's get started. And as you see here, I have ones that are going very high and wonky and out of and kind of growing a little wild. So I'm actually going to just cut these back to the first leaf node. And this is by no means my spring prune. This is just to get them training and in the right direction for the season. I don't want these branches getting any thicker and harder and more difficult for me to bend and manipulate and train than they already are. So I kind of need to seize the opportunity when I have it, and I have it right now. But this is by no means the extent of my pruning, and most of my really important pruning actually I do in the spring. So, or late winter, very early spring. And I'll take you along with that as well. And these gloves actually are working so wonderfully. So I see in the hornbeam trees, there's still a stake in the middle kind of supporting them. They definitely don't need that anymore. So I'm going to be cutting it out, taking the stake out, and then we're going to start to bend. We're going to be using bungee cords. See if it works. We're going to be using bungee cords and just see if that helps secure them and start training them to bend and arch. So let me cut the stakes out. We'll get those out of the trees, and then we can start our shaping. Okay. So that is one out. All right. And that's the other stake out. Okay, so what I have for the job, I found these on the Amazon, and they are bungee cords, but they have the ability to tighten to your desired length and then tighten it up. And they are also carabiners on the end, so instead of just your regular hooks, so they shouldn't become dislodged. So I'm going to show you what I have in mind as I get going. And now I'm coming around on this side, and I'm going to attach my carabiner to this side, and then I'm going to tighten it up. And I'm just going to go a little bit higher every time. So let's start on our other hornbeam. And this one is a lot smaller, so it's going to be a lot easier to work with. And because this one is so much smaller, I think just one more on the top, and that'll do it. For my next feat, we will be seeing if we can bend delicately without breaking any of the branches of this Eden climber. I have some hooks in here already from a wisteria that I was starting to train up, but then I changed my mind about it just from hearing so many stories and nightmares, and just worried about if I was going to be able to control it, and I didn't want it to grow into, cracks in areas of my home and just be strong and destructive. So I took it out. But I still have some hooks here, and I'm going to be seeing if I can just kind of follow it along that trail. And if I have longer branches, what I'm going to be doing is putting in some more hooks, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so we're going to be starting low on the lower branches and then working our way up. Now I just kind of loosely attached it because I don't want to hurt the branches. That one's too short. But this one is going to start to grow this direction. And then we have the next hook up for when she starts to go upward. And these stems are nice and soft, so I actually caught it at the right time before they got too difficult to work with. So I have 2 branches pulled over, nice and secure. I think I'm going to train this one to go. I want to train a few to go under the window and a few to go over. I need to get this one out of the rafters, so I'm going to get my ladder, and then I need to get drilling another eye hook. Okay, so now I have these pointed in the right direction, and I'm just going to kind of guide it to go down under my roof line, and we'll see if we need to put hooks in or anything. But so far right now, I don't think I really need to worry about that. But I do want to, let's create some drama here. Let's put a hook maybe right here. And so for this part, we are going to be using a 1/4 inch masonry drill bit that needs some tightening. And we are going to be using a sinker and a white eye hook. And I think my marker was just about right here. And because it goes this direction, I'm actually going to just do one more right up here to kind of start leading it around the window. Okay, so I actually think that this is a really good start. I have this one starting to trail around the window, and then these smaller, shorter ones that I'm going to train to go under the window, and then this one right up under the roof line. I'm going to train to follow that line, and hopefully we will create a beautiful little trail and fill in this big white space with some beautiful foliage and lots of pretty blooms. All right, I think everything is looking really good and coming along. I could probably do with putting one more bungee cord right up on the top there, but I don't really feel like I necessarily need to do that right now. Maybe I will. Upon further consideration, seeing this branch kind of come on a downward trajectory, I actually think I'm going to put a hook here to have it arching upward, and these will be my branches. Actually, this can either trail off, continue off down, or continue upward. I have yet to decide that, but I think it'll look better at an upward angle instead of downward. So let's put another screw in. Okay, I think this branch now looks a lot better, and it kind of follows the same path and trajectory as the one directly above it, so I think that works. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. It's lovely to see this project that I've dreamt about start to come together and start to be able to have it fill in the blank spaces of the wall. So hopefully that'll mean a lot more spring blooms along what would normally just be a boring blank area. And the hornbeams are coming together too. So, you know, it's just bit by bit. No garden is built in a day. It's just step by step and little brick by little brick. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a wonderful day, a chance to get out in nature. And as always, I hope you join me next time.